When quick and easy lunch and dinner ideas are on your mind, then these delicious rice paper rolls must make it to your recipes list. It's rich in flavor, it's protein dense, takes almost no time to make, and can become your meal planning hack or a fulfilling snack. But if you have tried using these rice paper before and ended up with sticky torn mess stuck to your fingers, which you eventually had to throw away or use it as a face mask, then today I'm going to explain how to get it right every single time. Welcome to Happy Bellyfish, and today I'm making these Vietnamese-style chicken rice paper rolls. The fillings used here are fresh herbs, vegetables and aromatics along with the main ingredient, which is chicken. So there will be no heavy spices and it will feel fresh like you just landed in Vietnam. If you're new to our channel, please consider subscribing and hit the bell notification icon so that you never miss out on our new releases. Now let's quickly look at the ingredients you will need for this recipe. First one is of course rice paper, which you can and must buy from the market. Don't try making these at home. The ingredients used to make these across all brands are pretty much the same: rice flour, tapioca, water and salt. And this has become a permanent resident in my pantry because you can do so many things with it. Now let's get to the preparation of the filling we'll be using in the roll or dumpling. I'm going to start with the spring onions. If you're using regular onions instead, then chop it as fine as possible. Next, take a couple of carrots, peel them and use this side of the box grater to get about 1 cup of finely grated carrots. One vegetable that gives any kind of dumpling or roll its classic aroma and taste is the cabbage. Wash the outer surface thoroughly, then peel away the outermost leaves. Don't throw away these leaves though. We'll be using them later for steaming. Halve the cabbage and remove and discard the core. You can use a box grater here, but a knife works much better. You lose much less juice and also the outer leaves hold together better when chopping. And you will need about 2 to 3 tablespoons of mint leaves. The other herb here that goes beautifully almost in any Asian dish is fresh coriander. One thing to watch out for when using herbs, especially in recipes that use rice paper, is to use the softer leafy parts and trim away the stems as much as possible. The stems will puncture the rice paper when you roll it. Now the Thai red chilies. These are some of the hottest chilies out there, so I'm adding just 2 along with the seeds. Grind about a teaspoon of pepper into a fine powder using mortar and pestle. With the prep done, it's time for us to now prepare the filling. So this is around 500 grams of minced chicken. The one that I'm using was frozen, so I thawed it overnight in the refrigerator and it was ready to use the next day. To this minced chicken, add just about half a teaspoon of salt, then half a teaspoon of finely ground white pepper or black pepper, 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic, followed by an equal amount of chopped ginger. I'm quite conservative when it comes to adding chili. This also makes the meal more kid friendly. Now pour in about half a teaspoon of oil, sesame oil or olive oil, they work best here, and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Mix everything well first to create the first layer of flavor in the minced chicken. Now we will add the herbs and the vegetables one by one. So in goes mint, about 2 tablespoons, coriander 2 to 3 tablespoons, and you can always switch it to dill or parsley if you are a coriander hater. Roughly 3 to 4 tablespoons of spring onions, and then 1 cup of grated carrots, followed by 1 cup of cabbage. Mix it thoroughly, and this matters since it keeps the chicken from cooking into stiff lumps, and fibrous vegetables, they also add a lot of fluff and lightness to the texture. Now you can start making these rolls right away, but I'm going to let this rest in the fridge for about 20 minutes, just about enough time for the flavors to come together while we make the dipping sauce. So for the dipping sauce, it can be just plain soy sauce, or you can make something more exciting, a mildly spicy version of soy sauce with some herbs and spices in it. Take a small mason jar or a bowl and add half a tablespoon of finely chopped garlic. Add some bird's eye chili, just about 1 or 2 is more than enough. Then a small amount of finely chopped coriander, which should be like 1 teaspoon, not more, and half a tablespoon of lemon juice. Add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce now and about 2 tablespoons of water to loosen it up. So this is leaning more towards the salty and sour side. So add a teaspoon of honey for balancing it with sweetness. You can also use palm sugar or regular sugar, but honey tastes really good here. Finish with half a teaspoon of finely chopped spring onions and some toasted sesame seeds. Shake well and the sauce is ready in no time. Now we can start rolling the chicken rolls. I'm going to show you both the steamed and fried version of this roll today. If you have a steaming setup, then take the perforated steaming plate and line it up with the cabbage leaves. Then smear a small amount of oil on the top. This adds both flavor and it also doubles up as a non-stick surface. If your steaming pot's lid doesn't have a venting hole like mine, then steam can condense and drip onto the rolls. So I tie a piece of cheesecloth over the top to prevent that. Add water to the steaming pot, turn up the flame and bring the water to boil. And while that happens, take the chicken filling out and give it one final mix. Now for the part most people struggle with, stuffing the rice paper. Here's where you will see different approaches. Should I use warm water or room temperature water, and how much time do I need to soak it for? So here's the simple answer. If you're a beginner, use the water that's at room temperature. You will be slow, but you will get it right always. If you soak it in warm water, then it needs just about 2 to 3 seconds, and in room temperature water, it will need about 10 seconds. So I'll take a rice paper and dip it in water that is at room temperature and count until 10 seconds. When you pull it out, it still feels a little stiff, but it's actually fully moistened by then. Place it on a wet working surface, and this is important because on a dry surface the rice paper will stick. Take about a tablespoon of this chicken filling and put it on one end of the rice paper. Roll it over once and then fold the sides one by one like I'm showing here. After this, gently keep rolling the rice paper away from you while squeezing the contents with a very light pressure. Not using warm water makes this process so much easier because you can be slow and there is a lot of room for correction. Now if you want to make bigger rolls, add about 2 tablespoons of filling and then fold it in the same way that I had shown. Start from the side that's closest to you and then fold the sides and move away from yourself as you fold the rice paper forward. The bigger rice paper rolls, they work great when you try to fry them. It doesn't really do a great job when you steam them, and I'll tell you later why. In these large rice paper rolls, because we have added a large quantity of filling, it's a good idea to double the rice paper wrap. So fold the roll once again in another rice paper to give it a thicker outer shell. As you keep rolling, place the rolls directly on the steaming plate as you go. And if there is no cabbage leaf on hand, then baking paper works fine too. Just spray or smear a little oil on the top or punch a few holes in the baking paper so that the water does not accumulate on it. Cover and steam for around 10 minutes, and if you feel unsure, then 15 minutes, but no more. The chicken will be fully cooked by then. This folding method was by far the easiest, fastest and the most reliable. Now for larger rolls which were double layered, I had steamed for about 15 minutes, and for the smaller ones about 10 minutes was enough. Once steaming is done, don't try to remove the rolls right away. Let them cool slightly first. Hot rice paper is very sticky and pulling it too soon will tear it apart, and it will also burn your finger in the process. Wait for about 5 minutes and then slide right off the leaf. And look how nicely these have turned out. The chicken is completely cooked and it smells amazing. Now a few mistakes I had made along the way. Since this was also my first time, I put too much filling in some of them, which turned out to be an oversized sausage that was hard to handle and needed 2 sheets of rice paper to hold together. It cooked evenly, but eating it became a challenge and it kept falling apart, especially when trying to slice them into two. And while the large ones that do not work for steamed version, it will work when you try to deep fry them or shallow fry them. So lesson learned, keep the filling to about a tablespoon per roll and no more. The steamed ones taste amazing, but if you wish to fry these, then prepare the rolls and they can be fried straight away. You don't have to steam it before. I prefer to shallow fry these instead of deep frying, saves me a lot of oil and it works just fine. Heat about 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil in a thick pan And once the oil is hot, place the rolls one by one without overcrowding. Cook on one side for about 3 minutes over medium-high heat, then flip and cook the other side for another 3 minutes. And repeat this process again. 3 minutes on one side and 3 more minutes on the other side. As long as there is sufficient oil and the pan is not too hot, you will get this wonderful looking golden brown and crisp rolls. I was genuinely surprised at how crispy these turned out and how wonderful they looked. But my personal opinion, between these two, I would prefer the steamed version. It's much lighter. Though the larger ones were a bit more delicate to handle, the smaller ones were perfectly fine to eat. Both the steamed and fried versions are easier to pack and store overnight for lunch the next day. I actually stored both versions overnight, the steamed and the fried version, and they tasted amazing even when they were cold. To be honest, I was so hungry that the next day I just ate them cold without even reheating, and it tasted really good. So as far as the stuffing goes, one more addition that you can do here is to add some cooked rice noodles or even cooked rice to make it more filling. Enjoy these with soy sauce or the dipping sauce that we had just made, and let me know in the comments how it turned out and which version that you had made. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon with another detailed recipe.